Hi, I'm Harry Gregson Williams, and I'm the composer on the Chronicles of Narnia. At a very early age, I was packed off to boarding school, when I was about 6 actually, in Cambridge, to a very, very specialist music school. I could read music probably a bit better than I could read English at a certain stage in my life. And the sort of saturation and the joy of music, which came in a very disciplined environment, it just has never left me that sort of hunger and desire to be as good as I possibly could be. After I'd been through music school, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I thought for one moment I was going to be an opera singer, but teaching music just leapt into my mind. I was interested in the sort of old adage, music might be a universal language, so I put myself in a very challenging situation, arriving in Alexandria in Egypt in a classroom, not speaking a word of Arabic. Film music to me was something I, like a lot of people, would have just heard when I went to the movies, and it didn't. I never realised that it could actually be a vocation, like something I would really embrace and want to do. Almost half of what is needed to be a film composer is nothing to do with composing music. Being able to understand what a director might want, being able to deal with musicians and orchestras and what have you, and really tight deadlines. You know, one could be a really talented Schubert-type guy sitting in a wonderful courtyard at one's window waiting for the muse to hit. You're not going to get on very well in this line of work. Hours and hours, days and days, months and months of preparing music, which I mock up on my sequencers and my samplers. You know, I spend a lot of time going over the film, time and time again, and sitting at the piano, trying this or trying that. And then when the moment's right, when I feel I'm onto something, I'll engage Andrew. I've got my director here this morning. He's a good man. This is Andrew Adamson, director of Shrek 2. And I'll sit him down and study his body language. When I play him some music one presents as painfully sad, for instance, hopefully he's going to feel that same emotion when I play it for him. But if he doesn't, then I have to make adjustments. So the last chord just came. Move a little bit later. Yeah. We had an extraordinary conversation the other day. It was a music meeting, but I was curious to know how is the first time Lucy goes into Narnia, there's a little snow falling, but nothing else, and there's a very important music cue. And Andrew said, I really want to make it feel like, you know that sound when there's not much sound? And I'm not sure I know what you're talking about there, Andrew. And he said, you know that sound when, if there's a lot of snowfall and you enter a little a clearing, perhaps, and there's just that feeling of emptiness there. So that was a great clue to me, musically. Because I had been actually thinking that I would open up musically. There's no dialogue there. Lucy's walking around, experiencing this place for the first time. But these conversations are invaluable, and they're not necessarily musically directed. Andrew and I had slight disagreements about where the music was going to land. When I had the orchestra play a really important moment in the film, Lucy and Tumnus first meet. That's a very delicate moment, really tricky to score. I rewrote that scene many times, and Andrew and I I had a difference of opinion as to how it should play out. I was quite nervous about it, and I really threw myself into the performance of it with the orchestra as I conducted them, and they really just nailed it. They played it exactly how I would have had them do it, and I flew through to the control room, and Andrew made one of his fairly famous sort of inverted compliments, which is, "I'm surprised how little I hate that." I'm like, "Great, Andrew, you love it!" My personal journey through scoring Narnia was a rocky one, as all my journeys on movies are. And by rocky, I don't mean unpleasant. Just, it's something. Scoring movies is something that never ceases to amaze me. The more I go on, the more I realise my job isn't to bang the audience over the head and say, "You must feel happy at this moment." I think a certain manipulation is inevitable, because we're making a movie here, and it is pretty much make-believe. We're suspending our imaginations for it. But having said that, there are, I hope, sophisticated and gentle ways of going about that.